Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial of MySQL database administration. And today, after a few videos of MySQL DBA cluster, because that was very in demand for these days, and I have to do that for the subscribers we have on this channel. So today, today we will be discussing about how we can take after binary logging and all that, few lectures on binary logs, because that was important for taking the backup. And if you haven't watched those videos, please go back and watch about the videos about MySQL binary logs, because that has a very essential part in taking any backup. So if you haven't seen those videos, please go back, and for now, and if you have watched this video till now, and if you like my videos, then please subscribe and like and share my videos. Thank you so much. And sorry for that. Today we will be discussing about MySQL backups, and this is the introductory lectures about MySQL backups and any backups on any sort of database, because there are types of databases, types of backups we are going to perform in databases. So yes, obviously MySQL is a database, and if you deploy your database and if you deploy your database and it's running, and then obviously anything can happen, anything can goes wrong, and you need to have your backup for your MySQL database or any other RDBMS you are running out there. So yeah, so for this introductory lecture, we are going to discuss so many things here today. And so if you are talking about backup, then obviously you are saying that why do you need a backup? So why do we need a backup is for, like as you can see in the slide, that we have mentioned few points, and let's discuss those. And first of all, obviously your data is the most valuable things, because if you don't have the data, obviously, or you if you are having any CRM and all that, and all the information you have about your customers, and if you don't have a backup and suddenly anything happens, obviously that data is gone. And if hardware fails, if storage fails, then your data is no more there, and you have lost all your business, all your customers. So you don't have customers, you lost the business. So obviously data is the most valuable things these days, and you have to protect them from loss. And anything can happen, just like we talk about the hardware, storage, and from disaster recovery. If any natural disaster can also happen, and you can just your data center can collapse. So obviously you need to avoid for that. You need to take backups, and hardware failure or any developer or any DBA can cause harm to your database. Like if a DBA is having obviously the most superior privileges, and if he accidentally, or any junior DBA or any DBA who is not familiar with the environment, and he accidentally drop your data file, then obviously you have lost some data, and you need your backup to restore your data. So for that you need to have backup. And any developer who accidentally drop a table which is belongs to a live schema, and he was working on tests, and he thought that it's a test schema, and accidentally he dropped the table which was not supposed to be dropped. So for that you need to restore that table, and that requires a backup. And obviously if you want to migrate these days, migration from on-premises to clouds, you need to have backup, and then you have to enable replication to migrate your on-premises MySQL cluster to MySQL cluster, or any single instance to, or any environment you have set up on your on-premises. You can migrate your database to the cloud. Either it can be Amazon RDS, Amazon EC2 instance, or it can be OCI metal, like bare metal, and it can be RDS as well. And so many things we have on the cloud. You can migrate your on-premises to your cloud, and for that you require a backup, initial backup. Then you can do the replication, all that. And obviously if you want to do the upgrades from one server to another server, like on parallel server, or any if you want to go with the so many things we have. Rolling mode backup, rolling mode upgrade. For that you need a backup. And in case you want to change the hardware, like your current hardware is not good enough to support your database load, so for that you need to change your you have to have a backup, and then you store your backup onto another server which is more powerful than your current hardware. So for that you need a backup. And in case you want to create a replica or you want to do like you want to build InnoDB group replication or InnoDB cluster, so for that you need a backup to like set up another instance to that should be added to your group replication, or that can be added inside your what do you say that InnoDB cluster. So yes, obviously. And in case you want to archive your old data, like if your company have any policy or the government have any policy that you must have 10 years old data, but that is not live and is not required by your application, so that can be saved in archives in terms of backups. So you take the backup and save them and zip them or any compress them and save them. So once you need them, you just restore them, or you can just restore some part of the that backup, and it can be provided to the concerned customer, like any department requires or any government entity requires those data. And obviously if you want to take some chunks of the data, like some tables or some rows even in MySQL, then you can use the backup and set up a test environment. Obviously organization needs set test environments for development and all that changes and some new modules adding into the application. They want to test it on the test environment, so you need to take a backup and deploy in your test environment, so for that you can use it. Okay, so that was all about why do you need backup. Next we have, obviously, if you want to go for to develop, if you want to go for configure your backup, then obviously it requires some forethoughts, and planning. So it's not that easy, it's a very tricky things. So how you do backup your critical system, production system, that depends on you. These are the few things which I have mentioned, like obviously while your server is performing critical business function and you want to take the backup at that time, you need to check that if that is a good time to take your backup or not. And then we have, like, obviously, and downtime is not acceptable, like if you want to go for the offline backup, then obviously that is not supported these days. Like nobody wants to take an offline backup, so your system should be running online and you should be taking the backup. And yes, obviously these are the things you want to take care of. And we have another things, like we don't want any negative impact on your server, and we don't want to like degrade the performance of MySQL database or any application like while taking the backup. So you have to take care of those things. You have to be taking the backup, which like your performance of the backup should also be enhanced, and like you can do that by running multiple threads, or so the technology you are using, you should check that these things are supported or not. And then obviously you need a proper storage to store your critical backup, because in case you are storing the backup on the appliance on the same hardware where your application or where your database resides, like production, and in case the hardware fails, obviously your backup you will lose the backup as well. So you need to move your backup to some more reliable source of storage, like it should have the RAID enable and few more things, obviously mirroring and all that. So you need to take care of these things. You have to check these things. And okay, next we have ways to take the backup. We have a lot of tools to take the backup, and obviously we are talking about sorry for that, we are talking here about our community version, and these are the things comes with the community. MySQL dump that comes, mysqlpump does not come, but you have to install it, and mysql dumper, and you can take the flat files as well, like CSV and all that. And we have MySQL XtraBackup. It doesn't come with MySQL, but this belongs to Percona, and you can install it, and there are some free features which you can take. And the first one is, like, obviously it's take the hot backup online backup of the physical online backup, and it's take like it is like it takes the backup of your redo. So obviously this is a very good thing, and it takes the consistent backup. And obviously MySQL dump does not take the consistent backup. If you want to take the consistent backup, you have to tell it, like, it locks your database for some time to like lock the instance for backup. So we will discuss these things as well. And then we have binary log backup, if in case you want to do for point in time recovery. And then clone plugin, we have a clone plugin inside your database in MySQL 8, and you can use that as well. So now these are the way to take the backups. And obviously once you're planning for the backup, you need to check if you are what will be your recovery point objective. So obviously you need to check that how fast you want to recover. So in case you want an immediate recovery, then obviously you need to set up an InnoDB cluster, MySQL group replication, or obviously replica and target, or you can say that master and slave. So in case the shorter thing will be replication, so you need a replication. And if you want, like, say that as soon as possible, so for that you need a physically you need a physical backup for that. So it can be like you can say the snapshot and few things like that. And obviously doesn't matter, I can, like, it's an archival database, and then you have to check that what should be the cost and what should be the size and some more factors which are involved. And like it's a logical, then obviously and we say that it's okay, it's the logical database for us, and it doesn't matter if it takes some time. Then the logical based backups are obviously, they are much more flexible, like if you want to restore some data, or if you want to restore some like data mean, like rows or some tables and all that. And obviously backups come with some cost and some benefits as well. So you have to do some maths for that, say like what should be the cost, and what and in terms of that cost, what sort of benefits I am getting. So obviously you need to check, like if it is an archive database, like the backup is archived and you want to store, you can store it on a media manager or in some sort of tape. And if it's like not the most recent, if it is a most recent backup, then obviously you need to have a very fast storage, and so obviously that's going to be costly. And if it's like archive backups, like it's a month old or year old, then you can take them to like media manager and tape and all that, like some old storage which can give you some more time to restore, like there's not too much, the hustle should not be there. And obviously you can write those to the cloud storage, and it could be like Amazon S3 buckets and all that. And obviously you can use OCI object storage as well for that. And you can have some, there are different type of object storage like archival and some more thing. And yes, obviously if you are storing them for the long term and the backups are huge, then obviously they're gonna take some more space, and more space means more storage means more cost. So if the backups are big enough to take a lot of space, then you can compress them, and obviously it will take time to decompress them. So you need to take care of that factor as well. So if you can, like if you don't want them to like recover that fast, so obviously this is how you can save your money. Okay, so enough talking about the strategies and why we need the backups and what sort of things you need to take care of while planning for your backups. Now there are types of backups. Let's discuss those. And first type is like physical backup. Obviously that means that taking the backup of the raw copy, like it's kind of a raw copy of the directories and the file system, and which are involved in your database, like files of your database, so where the content of your database is stored. And then obviously if you are taking a backup, the physical backup, like it's just like so you should, like the point is like starting a DB on physical backups, like it's just like DB started from the crash event if DB physical backup is taken online. So for InnoDB server shutdown might be required, there are a few things, and for MySM log tables to allow read but no changes. So, and there are some snapshot replication or priority method can be used. And there are a lot of tools which can help you taking the backup, physical backup, like XtraBackup, and I think MariaDB backup as well. and the MySQL Enterprise Backup, obviously that's the most efficient solution for you available in the market, but obviously it has some cost for the license and you have to pay for that, and obviously that's expensive. Then we have logical backups. Obviously logical backups are saved information like represented as logical database structure, like commands of create database, create table statements, and insertion and insert, like content of insert statement. So that's how that's the things which inside your logical backup. Logical backups can be dumps and like you're using flat files and all that. Okay, then we have logical backups are portable, like they're easy to maintain, and server must be running. Obviously if you are taking the logical backup, these are called online backups, and generally they are slower because they are writing all the statements. So then we have online backups. Online backups take place while your obviously MySQL server is running, and so that the database information can be obtained from the server. And then we have offline backup. Offline backups take place while the server is stopped and it's not running, and obviously your application is not live. And we can say that online backups are hot backups, that is, and offline backups are cold backups. These are the general terms used for the backups. And a warm backup is one where the server remains running but locked and against the modifying the data while you are accessing the database for files externally. So that's called warm backup. Okay, next we have full backup, incremental backup, differential backup, and snapshot backup. Full backup is called which includes all the data managed by the MySQL server at a given point of time, the time like when you start the backup. So till that time all your database files will be included in that full backup. And incremental backup consists of the changes made by the data during a given time of span, like from one point to another time. And incremental backups are made possible by enabling the server binary logs, which the server used to record the data changes. So binary logs we have discussed before in our previous tutorial, that what are the used for. So like they store all your changes happening inside your database. So all the changes are saved in the binary log, and MySQL will use those binary log for taking the differential backup or for taking the incremental backup. So obviously and then we have differential backups, backup image with a different from the last full backup. So whatever changes has been done since last full backup, all the changes are included inside that differential backup. So it can be a special type of incremental backup where the base is the last full backup, and MySQL Enterprise Backup supports full both incremental and differential backup, plus obviously the full backup as well. So, and then we have snapshot backup. Currently we don't have any utility coming with MySQL, but there are some tools available online, just like Veritas provides, and LVM and ZFS, they provide tools which can take the snapshot backup of your database. So I think in MySQL 8 they have this snapshot backup. You need to check that as well. So you guys let me know if MySQL snapshot backup is available online or not in the comment section, and let me know. Okay, so full backup, incremental backup, and differential backup and snapshot. So full backup in our this community edition, which is generally available, like we take that using mysqlpump or and few other utilities we have. Incremental backup in MySQL is MySQL community edition is taken from MySQL this binary log, MySQL bin log. And so these are a few things which are available in MySQL community edition, and obviously MySQL Enterprise Backup solution provide the full backup, incremental, and differential backup for all these things. So next, obviously these are the utilities which are used for taking the logical backups. We are not covering MySQL Enterprise Backup because obviously we need a license for that, and we don't have the license, so we cannot cover it here. But in case they have provide like 14 days or 2 weeks of free trial, so I will try to cover that in the free trial, and we'll let you know how we can take the full backup, differential, and incremental backups, and how we can restore them as well in the future videos. So backups are, there are few utilities, logical backups, which I say like online backups, and then we have physical backup. They are also online, but it does not ship with the, like, they are also online, and we see this before. So what are logical backups utilities? We have mysqldump, mysqlpump, and mydumper, which does not ship with the MySQL, but we can install that as well. And then we have MySQL, another backup, physical backup utilities, like we have XtraBackup, which does not ship with MySQL, but it belongs to Percona, and they provide the free version as well, and they have like, we can take the physical backup online. So MySQL enterprise backup solution, obviously the best solution available online for MySQL backup. And obviously for point in time recovery, the backup should be able to provide the binary log position up to which the backup are taken, and that is called consistent backup. So if you want to take the backup consistent, then you should, the binary log should provide position till which the backup knows that till this point of time I have taken the backup, and that can be used for your backup. So next lecture we will be discussing about taking backups using mysqldump. There are a lot of ways we can take the backup. So that's it guys for today, and if you have liked this lecture, please like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next lecture.